do we do? Okay, so new business. Consider approval of an application for display fireworks submitted by Brian Messer for 10 p.m. June 26, 2021 at his residence located at 41005 Judd Road, Sumter Township, with a rain date of June 27, 2021.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure the fire chief, Rick Brown's in the loop with this. If that could get relayed to him to make sure we got personnel available and all that good stuff. The public safety director, Chief Eric Luke, could do the correspondence on that. I'd appreciate it.
Trustee Laporte, Chief Brown is aware of the date.
Awesome.
great.
Chair?
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, one of my concerns is too weather. We are under look at the applications for fireworks, because we've got to keep public safety involved in this and make sure that conditions are safe for these kinds of events. Back to Chair.
Okay. So B, consider approval to send clerk office assistant Hadiak to attempt Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Institute conference from June 13th to June 18th, 2021. Cost not to exceed $1,350. Any comments? Okay, so consider approval to hire Kevin Scott as a full-time ordinance officer on the conditions he passes a physical examination and drug screening. This is to be consent with the union bargaining agreement of ASME local 1882.14.
This is the individual the committee selected for hire.
Correct.
My understanding he had a couple good candidates, really, but one
Yeah,
was a little bit better than the other.
I think Chief and Toth did a really good job of picking the right guy. Yeah, so. All right, so we'll move on to D. Consider approval to hire Juno Anthony Cristini. Is that right? Close enough?
Crescenti.
Crescenti as a full-time police officer on the condition he passes a physical, drug screening, and psychological evaluation. Also consider approval to start at the 6-month pay scale.
Chair, if I could ask the chief 2 questions.
Sure. Go ahead, Peggy.
Chief, how many police officers do we have right now?
15,
15,
including me.
not including new hire?
15 sworn as of today.
Okay. And what is the purpose of doing the 6 months pay scale?
It's the same thing I asked for in the last hire about a little over a year ago. We're in different times right now. Recruiting qualified applicants is very, very difficult. We've been looking for, I'm sorry. We've been looking to fill this spot since the former officer left sometime in January. We've interviewed several people, and we believe that Mr. Crescenti, that Gino is a good fit for us. He's a qualified applicant, but I'm telling you, it's a different time right now, and finding qualified applicants and holding on to them, at least over those first couple years where they have other other places they could go, is going to be very important for Sumter moving forward. Hopefully we don't have to go through this hiring process anytime soon. Hopefully once Crescenti gets in, he stays. our other younger officers stay. We don't have any retirements for a handful of years, and we get possibly past this time in law enforcement that has caused it to be so hard to recruit. So that's why I ask. As you know, the contract has a start, has a 6-month, and has a year. It's an incremental increase for new hires for the same. Mostly the reason for the last new hire for this was because of COVID. The unknown. We're still going through COVID, even though we're coming out of it. It's still a strange time to be in law enforcement. You're still putting yourself at risk when you're going out there and dealing with people on a daily basis, face to face. So that's why I asked for this to start at the second pay scale, is just like I did the last new hire.
Sure, Trustee Addy.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and Chief, it's not just in the police world. Everybody is having trouble recruiting right now, getting capable labor. I'd also like to note, Chair, it looks like we lost Trustee Morgan.
Yeah. I think we did.
Yeah, I know our protocol is to stop the meeting, but I think that's for the actual meeting, not for the workshop. But we should probably reach out to her before we move forward to see if we can't reestablish.
Yes, Trustee Addy, I will reach out to her right now.
Okay, so we'll move on to.
Can I say one thing, sir, while we're going through this? I just want to make sure that everybody understands. We said early on, we'd rather be down a person than go down lower than what our standard is normally. And in no way, even though recruiting is very hard, Crescenti is a quality applicant, and we're happy to have him. In no way do I want to make it sound like we went down below what our normal standards were. He came to us, in my opinion, time will tell, but we got lucky that he and another individual applied to us a couple weeks ago. We got him in, interviewed him, and he seems to be a great fit for us. And I hope he's here for many years to come.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Okay.
Thanks, Chief.
We'll move on to E, consider approval of HR committee to access personal needs now and for the future. Named committee members, Matt Oddie, Tim Rush, Don Laporte, Anthony Burdick, and L. O'Connell.
Chair, Trustee Addy.
Go ahead.
I'd like to recommend that we wait to hear from L, because I think we'll end up having to go back through a few items. If Ms. Morgan has any questions, we should, wait a minute or two to see if she's able to at least establish phone contact with her.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, we're trying to resolve some technical issues right now, but she'll be joining us very shortly.
Do we want to come back to that or do we want to continue?
Chair?
Chairman, if I may,
Go ahead, Rob.
while we're in a break here, it got past me because I was looking at something else. On item A, which is the firework display, maybe Tony can help me on this one. The documents I received was a certificate of liability insurance. Insured party was the Michigan Fireworks Club Incorporated. Is that the party that's requesting, Tony? Is that what I understand?
Rob, I believe that is the party that also certified the one who's put in the application.
Okay, because the certificate of liability insurance I'm looking at has a certificate holder of the Belleville Area Chamber of Commerce. I'm not sure how that works, but the additional insured, I don't see the additional insured on here as Sumter Township. Now, I might be missing something. But I guess we always want to make sure that whatever the applicable insurance coverage is, that Sumter's Township is listed as an additional insured. Again, just because that's what our insurance company requires. And in fact, they had requested that we reach out to them every time we have one of these situations, but normally in the past, that's what they have requested. So
Understood. I apologize. This was processed during that shall we call the silly season over the past week and a half or so. And, but we also had our community planner, Chris Atkin, take a look at the application and assured it was compliant with our ordinance and our codes. And he had said that everything appeared to meet what the requirements were.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to, I don't have any problems with looking at what's proposed and how they're going to handle it. I'm sure they're very professional. I just want to make sure we get that coverage and specifically named. It's just, if something should go wrong, it's 1 in a million, but if it does, then at least we have those kind of things there. We're not arguing with our insurance company. So that's my only reason. It's not a matter of criticism. It's just a matter of making sure we get it covered if we can.
Understood. Thank you.
Also, Mr. Chairman, there was a couple things that came in sort of late here. I talked to Cole about it today, and I'd like to get them considered tonight. They're very, very simple, very basic. One is that resolution that's being circulated at Belleville and Van Buren. I was asked to take a look at it. Adopted it pretty much, made a few changes just to kind of personalize it. But what the spirit of the resolution would be if we pass it would be to request the, they're going to have redistricting, and it's now not just left up to the local legislature. There's a citizens committee that's going to be independent citizens, called Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission. So it's a little more than a committee, it's a commission that will review the districts, consider the population movement and the like, and will assign Michigan seats. I'm talking about the House of Representatives and the Senate. And Belleville and Van Buren felt it important that we try to keep in one district, in other words, one state rep and one senator that represents all three of the communities, because we share a lot of similar concerns and situations. And instead of just getting thrown into another district or area, like right now, I'm not being critical of it, I'm just stating a fact. Right now we're with Monroe. And so you got Monroe County that's to the south of us, our state rep is down there, and we're to the north, we're in Wayne County, and we seem to be distant. We have a separation. So what this resolution would do is just request that the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission consider, when they're drawing that up, the request to keep the three communities in one district. That's all that is. And then secondly, we were in closed session a couple of meetings ago regarding the COAM contract and the modifications that we agreed to consider. And we had reviewed at that time and came to, I think, a resolution with COAM that there would be an additional 2% differential between the sergeant and the top corporal pay. That is consistent to lower with the surrounding communities based upon the information, and it's recommended by the public safety director. So if you'd like to take that up tonight, I think we're all aware of it. Then we can put that behind us. If not, we can do it in 2 weeks, whatever your pleasure.
Hey, Chair, Trustee Addy.
Go ahead, bud.
I believe Brian Messer is an attendee, and maybe Michelle can have him answer the question about the insurance as we go forward, because Rob is correct. The Belleville one may have just been put in there for, information, but that actually expired in 2020. And the policy that they provided in the back was actually a binder from May of 2020. And the policy may have just expired. Their application came in at the end of April. So the insurance may have been valid at that point, and that's what they provided. And maybe we can ask them about that, because now we're May 25th, and I'm assuming a new policy has been issued because the previous policies expired after he submitted his application.
Great. Yes, hold on 1 second, Trustee Addy. Brian?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Brian.
Yeah, Trustee Addy, regarding the policy date, we do have a current policy that I can provide a copy that was just renewed this month. And your other concerns have been duly noted regarding the dry weather. That's certainly something that we would call off the show if if there's any concern with any kind of drought issues. Regarding the insurance, so all Michigan Fireworks Club members are covered under the policy for Michigan Fireworks Club. So if we do a private show, we are covered under the $2 million policy. I also have a personal $2 million insurance rider policy under my own homeowner's insurance that would also help protect that. As far as the issue with the township being named as being named on the insurance, would that only apply to a public show, or would that also be required for a private show like I'm doing?
You want me to address that, Mr. Chairman?
Well, if you don't mind, sir, I don't know. I'm not sure how easy that would be to get the township added for that event.
Let me just say this, Brian. I do these all the time, and this past week I had 3, and it took 24 hours on the 3. I'm not suggesting that it'll be that easy, but this is what we've required in the past, and this is not something that we're trying to put up there as an obstacle. Our insurance company has requested that every time one of these come up, that we get named as an additional insured on the insurance policy. So it's just what they're asking us to do. When is the
Well, I
event?
totally understand. Yep.
When's the
I can
event?
certainly look into that in the short term and see if we can get that added on.
Well, June 26th. So we're looking at a month. So I almost can guarantee you we can get it done a lot sooner than that.
Perfect. I appreciate your concerns. I will certainly look into that, and I appreciate all of you taking time to review the application. I'm going to drop off unless you have anything else for me. Okay, thank you all.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Is Peggy get back yet?
Yes, I just wanted to give you a quick update. She should be back on in a few minutes. Oh, here she is. Peggy? It'd be just one more minute. I see her here.
Chair, while we're waiting, maybe Mr. Young could clarify. So based on Mr. Young's description of the insurance, I'm assuming that that consideration should be contingent upon the proper insurance provided to the township.
Yeah, a month should be, should have it done in a week. Now, we got a short week next week, but it usually just takes a couple days. They do this as a matter of course. It's a one event issue. So if there's anything I can do to assist on that, I'm more than willing to do it. But again, it's not my creation. It's the mandate by the insurance company, that our primary insurance company. They don't want to get into a conflict is what I'm trying to say. I believe they have the insurance. I believe it's the coverage. And like Brian had indicated, he's got $2 million on the club and an additional, I guess, some sort of an umbrella for another $2 million. So I'm sure there's plenty of money there in case something ridiculous goes wrong. But again, when lawsuits fly, they just sue everybody. And our insurance company, one of the conditions they have is to make sure that when you have this outside event, that there's coverage in there, named insurance. So
We shouldn't have a problem adding that to the motion.
We've seen that in some of the other private events that we've had, and it makes sense because the township is reviewing the application and approving it, which puts a little bit of liability on the township.
Agreed, Matt.
It looks like this is gonna take just a few more minutes to get it resolved. We may switch to just dial in.
Hey, Michelle, I know you've been excellent at resolving these. I'm assuming Peggy's using her township laptop.
Yes, she is, and it forced to. Go ahead.
She power it down and then power it back up.
Yes.
Chair, if I may.
Go ahead, Tim.
Our Zoom meeting protocol, we're not actually in the meeting yet. I say we move ahead with the workshop agenda. And at that point, if Peggy, when we go to the regular board meeting, we'll have to take a pause until she's in and possibly even reconvene the meeting. But for right now, I suggest we move ahead with the workshop agenda.
I would support that. Okay, here we go then. Okay, so moving on to F, consider approval to accept the retirement of Mr. Ken Conda. I thought it was Conka. Is that misspelled?
It is, Chair. It's misspelled. It's on the
That's
agenda item is
misspelled.
correct. Yeah, the agenda item's correct, but it got mistyped here.
Okay.
It is a K.
Okay.
Sorry, Ken.
Yeah, for sure. Township and Water and Sewer Superintendent effective June 4th, 2021. Okay. E, consider approval to extend virtual meetings and remote until July 1st, 2021, with option to reconsider extension at that time, option to continue until 10/14/2021 per my OSHA. H, consider approval to appoint and designate for COVID-19 worksite coordinator Michelle Cole O'Connell and COVID-19 policy and mask wearing provisions to remain until July 1st, 2021 as in current policy approved by the Board of Trustees. And that will complete the workshop.
Chair?
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, while we've got a few minutes waiting for Trustee Morgan, I'd like to feel the ground here and see how everybody feels about going back to live meetings or virtual meetings, given the recent COVID outbreak at the Township Hall. I'm sitting on the fence at this point. I know the public is dying to get back to, real meetings, but I'm sitting on the fence. I don't know what to do at this point. The governor says everything's open. You don't have to work remotely anymore. Everybody's got everything in their board packet. Maybe we can discuss that real quick before the board meeting and make sure we can get Trustee Morgan in here.
Hey, Chair, hey,
Yeah.
Tim, I believe that's the item G on the new business. There was a item put on there, G, which is to extend virtual meetings until July 1st.
Right. Exactly.
Well, like I said, Tim, I'm just wondering, the public wants open meetings. I'm just trying to get a feel where everybody's at.
Well, it's still out there, Tim. That's funny the way you phrased that. No pun intended. People are dying to come to the meetings. That's
That was no pun, Tim.
I know, but that's what I'm getting at. I've had both my shots. I feel comfortable, but you can still get the disease. You can still take it home to your people. I mean, uh, you know, we just had an outbreak a week ago in the township, shut the whole show down. So, I mean,
Well, Tim, you know what? Like I said, I'm just trying to see where everybody's at. It's like I'm up in the air on it, but if everybody feels it's better just to keep with the virtual meetings, I have no problem with that. They work very well, except for some minor technical difficulties like we're experiencing right now.
I think they work very well. I mean, that's my opinion. I would continue the virtual meetings, but that's only my opinion.
Chair, I think we may have Peggy Morgan back.
Okay. I don't see her. Hello, Peggy.
Board, the trustee Morgan is having difficulty even dialing in right now. So I guess our options are that I can put her on speaker as we've done in the past with other folks, and as we still continue to try to work out her laptop in the background.
Isn't she supposed to visually be seen? I don't know what the protocol is. I'm sorry.
I know that she can dial in. However, it would say that I was speaking because it would be coming through my speaker. So. We'll keep working on it. Give us maybe 3 or 4 more minutes.
I mean, I'm good with it as long as it fits the rules of the meeting. You know what I mean? For virtual meetings.
Mr. Supervisor, just to respond, you don't have to have visual. There are those that can attend by phone if that's what's required. It's a little bit different because I think what Michelle's saying is that she can speak through her phone. But given the circumstances, it's not like we're trying to circumvent this. We're just trying to make sure
Right.
we can finish our meeting.
Chair?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I say if once the phone link to Peggy is established, say the pledge and move into the meeting.
Yep, I agree. Aaron's still there. They're gone. You're not done.
Ceiling's all out, the bathroom looks like it's done, camera's off, the bedroom. There's walls, big area, and walls in that one room. Travis has shelves that he needs to get out of there. All the ceilings are done.
Yeah, Larry was complaining about that.
Deputy Supervisor, can you give us an update?
Peggy is, or excuse me, Trustee Morgan is attempting to dial into the meeting from her own phone. So just waiting to see if that goes through right now. And I apologize. I was working with Trustee Morgan. What was the decision on if she can call in?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to call and see what Travis was doing? Call Travis. Just see what he called me about.
Hey, Darren, thanks for the meeting. What's up?
I was just seeing how if I need to get some mud and stuff today.
You see you get the mud and stuff today.
Tell him I will get a hold of him tomorrow. We'll go to probably Menards and get it.
He'll get a hold of you tomorrow and I'll go to an art skit. You get that one room cleaned out, don't you?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
He has to have them shelving out of there.
That shelving out of there.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, we'll get a hold of you tomorrow.
Alright.
Okay. Love you.
Thank you.
What's that?
Our day.
All right, board, I have Trustee Morgan on the phone. If this is acceptable, she's having issues with the dial-in as well. Trustee Morgan?
Yeah. I'm listening, Michelle.
Okay. Is that acceptable, or did you guys want to reconvene?
That's acceptable.
I think it's
All right,
okay.
she's on. Yep, Trustee Morgan, can you?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, one nation,
To the
under
republic
God,
which it stands,
Which stands, one
one
nation.
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Trustee Laporte,
Here, Wayne County, Sumter, Michigan.
trustee Yadi, trustee
You're
Yadi,
muted.
you're muted.
Yes, Sumter Township, Wayne County, Michigan.
Thanks, sir. Trustee Rush,
Here, Wayne County, Michigan, at my residence, Sumter
Tru-
Township.
thank you. Trustee Morgan,
Here, Wayne County, Michigan, Sumter Township.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Here, Sumter Township, Michigan.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. We will go approve agenda.
Chair,
Go ahead, Don.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the item A being updated to show their new insurance policy on the application.
Okay.
Support?
Roll call. Trustee Morgan.
Yes.
Trustee Rush.
Yes.
Trustee Oddie.
Yes.
Trustee Laporte.
Yes.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. 4, public comment on agenda items only. Okay, move on. 5, minutes. Approve the regular board meeting minutes of May 13th, 2021.
So moved.
Support.
Roll call. Trustee Laporte.
Yes.
Trustee Oddie.
Yes.
Trustee Rush.
Yes.
Trustee Morgan.
Yes.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay. 6, warrants. A, approve warrants and special check run totaling $117,640.58.
So moved, Chair.
So moved with roll call vote.
Trustee
Support.
Laporte.
Yes.
Trustee Oddie.
Yes.
Trustee Rush.
Yes.
Trustee Morgan.
Yes.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. 7, Parks and Recreation Chambers report. Rush.
Thank you, Chair. Not a whole bunch to report this week other than the last cleanup at Benody Sherwood Park went very well. I wish again we had more volunteers, but went very well. All the mulch has been removed and placed in the proper areas. Everybody hung out till almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Don't think we've got an issue with the sign order right now. And this is just not happening to the gentleman we ordered the signs from. He's got materials that are not being delivered promptly or in short supply. And unfortunately, we cannot, this is the commission, Parks and Rec Commission. We have to have those signs up to open up the park for liability. We're working on it diligently. Talking to Sharon today, it looks like we might have some of the signs available for this weekend, and we're going to make every attempt possible to get those signs placed so we can get the Benody Sherwood Park opened as quickly as possible. Again, it's people need to remember, this is a volunteer organization. Nobody gets paid for this. And everybody's been working very hard. I asked the township residents to be patient, and we'll have the park open soon, or the commission will. That's the end of my report, Chair.
Okay.
Motion to accept the Parks and Recreation Chamber report.
So moved.
Trustee Oddie.
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Moving on. Sewer and water report. Clark.
Make a motion to
I
accept
think
the
I'm,
water and sewer report.
So move.
Support.
Trustee Laporte,
yes.
Trustee Yadi,
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Planning and zoning report. Adi.
Thank you, Chair. The Planning Commission met on the 13th of May. We addressed two main issues. One was the slaughterhouse down on Bemis Road requested the approval to split their 9 acres into 2 parcels. That recommendation was approved by the Planning Commission and sent to the board for consideration. The second issue we're working on is the sign ordinance. And we are scheduled for another public hearing in June to tidy up a few things that we wanted to get in the sign ordinance for recommendation to the board. So that'll be coming hopefully sometime to the board, either the end of June or the first part of July, so that we can get that finished. And that ends my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Motion to accept his report.
Support.
Trustee Yadi,
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, seniors report first.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, it is your decision to make. We can receive and file if you prefer, or I can go through the senior report for the board.
I'll leave that up to you.
Or of urgency or anything that has to be reported, we can just receive and file.
Other than the fact that the senior center is officially back open as of May 17th, because as you know, we had a couple of weeks where it was closed. All of their standard functions are back in full swing, and we invite our residents to give us a call at the Township Hall or to the community center to see how they can get back involved. And that is our.
Chair, I make a motion to accept the senior report.
Support.
Support.
Roll call. Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Trustee Yadi,
Yes.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, 11, treasurer's report. Clark.
Chair, I'll make a motion to receive and file the treasurer's report.
Support.
Trustee Yadi,
Yes.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Board response.
Chair.
Yes.
Okay.
Question.
Chair.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, on the treasurer's report, what was included in our board packet? I know there's been some difficulties in that office as far as the COVID outbreak, but what was received in my board packet is unacceptable for a treasurer's report. And I just want it noted in the minutes that I personally expect a better report next board meeting. Back to chair.
Thank you, Tim.
Chair, if I could have the floor, please.
Go ahead, Peggy.
Okay, Tim, I believe part of the issue is with, under the circumstances, I'm sure they'll have a better report at the next meeting. Also, one other question, how are we doing on the Forgotten Harvest? Do we have a date and a place and a time?
Al, would you like to chime in on that?
Yes, Supervisor. Just update, we have a meeting this Friday with Forgotten Harvest to discuss potential sites. So we're moving forward on that, and we are very, very excited to be meeting with them and discussing possible options for the township to work together with Forgotten Harvest.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
Thank you, Al.
Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Okay, so new business. Consider approval of an application for display fireworks submitted by Brian Messer for 10 p.m. June 26, 2021 at his residence located at 41005 Judd Road, Sumter Township, with a rain date of June 27, 2021.
Chair, I'll make a motion to
With the
approve
roll
that
call vote.
with the stipulation of securing the insurance as required by the township.
Support.
Roll call. Trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Morgan,
Yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
trustee Yotti,
Yes.
clerk Hurst, and treasurer Clark excused, supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. B, consider approval to send clerk office assistant Hediak to attend Michigan Association of Municipal Clerk Institute Conference from June 13th through June 18th, 2021. Cost not to exceed $1,350.
So move.
Or
Support.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Morgan,
Yes.
trustee Yotti,
yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
clerk Hurst, and treasurer Clark excused, supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Consider approval to hire Kevin Scott as a full-time ordinance officer on the conditions he passes a physical examination and drug screening. This is to be consistent with the union bargaining agreement for ASME Local 1882.14.
So move.
Support.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
trustee Yotti,
Yes.
trustee Rush,
Yes.
clerk Hurst, and treasurer Clark are excused, supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Moving on. D, consider approval to hire Gino Anthony Christini as a full-time police officer on the condition he passes a physical, a drug screening, and a psychological evaluation. Also consider approval to start at the 6-month pay scale.
So moved.
Support.
Support.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Yotti,
Yes.
trustee Morgan,
Yes.
clerk Hurst, and treasurer Clark excused, supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Mr. Supervisor, Mr. Crescenti would like to say just a few words if you'd allow him.
Oh, great.
Absolutely.
Hold on one moment.
You betcha.
Mr. Casenti?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'd just like to thank the board for your consideration and Chief Luke for the opportunity. Thinking I'm a good fit for the Sumter Township Police Department, and I'm honored to start a new chapter in my life and start law enforcement career with the Sumter Township Police Department. So I'd like to thank everyone on the board and Chief Luke for your consideration.
Welcome. Thank you.
Glad to have you
You
aboard.
betcha. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I'd just like to add that Crescenti is currently in Vegas, so if he wins big, he might not be back. So he might be listening again.
Play one for me.
Thank you, Chief, for answering my questions.
You're welcome. And not to pass up Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott's also available to say a few words if you'll allow him.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Mr. Scott?
How are you doing?
Hello,
Can you hear
Kevin.
me?
Yes.
Well, I want to say thank you guys so much. Honestly, it's truly an honor to work with these guys. I know my capacity is a little different than a regular officer, but it's truly going to be an awesome opportunity and experience. And I thank you guys also for your approval.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome
Mr.
aboard.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
You're welcome. Okay, so move on to E. Consider approval of HR committee to access personal needs now and for the future. Named committee members, Matt Oddie, Tim Rush, Don Laporte, Anthony Burdick, and L. O'Connell.
Mr. Supervisor, can I ask a couple of questions?
Go ahead, Peggy.
Can somebody explain this whole agenda item to me, please?
Al, would you like to chime in there?
Yes. Currently, there are several positions that we need to ascertain whether we need to fill them with part-time or full-time. Also, the direction that the board would like us to go in as far as which positions should be filled and which ones shouldn't. So this is just a committee to kind of look at our staffing right now and decide where we're going to go in the future and present that to the board.
Okay, so basically it's just taking a look at what we actually need and where.
Correct, and what direction the board would like to see us go in. And
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
You're welcome, Peggy.
Here, I'll make a motion to approve item E.
Support.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Oddie,
Yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
clerk Hurst and treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Okay, moving on. F, consider approval to accept the retirement of Ken Conka, Township Water and Sewer Superintendent, effective June 4th, 2021.
I'll make the motion with regrets.
Support.
Support.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
trustee Oddie,
Yes.
trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Morgan,
Yes.
clerk Hurst and treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Mr. Supervisor, can I speak just for a second about Ken?
Go ahead, Peg.
I just want to say that he's been an asset to our community, and I wish him nothing but luck on his retirement. And congratulations to him.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on. G, consider approval to extend virtual meetings and remote work until July 1st, 2021, with option to reconsider extension at that time. Option to continue until 10/14/2021 per MyOcean.
Mr. Supervisor, can we have a conversation about this agenda item?
Go ahead, Peggy.
Okay, you know, this is, I don't know how you all feel, as I wasn't on the workshop, but the way I look at this is our community center, senior center is now open, and the people, the residents, everybody knows that they've been vaccinated. The ones who aren't, I'm sure would not, well, we can even wear a mask whether we're not vaccinated. But I feel that it's time for the residents to be allowed back into our meetings and to go public with these meetings, as this Zoom has not been the best dealings, you know, and the best way to conduct business. As we do work for the residents, I would just like to see that that we open back into the public. My opinion. Thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, my opinion is totally the opposite, but that's my opinion. It's still out there. It's still real. We shut the township down last week, so.
I'll make a motion to approve item G.
Support.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
trustee Morgan, trustee Morgan,
Hold on 1 minute.
thank you.
Yes. Am I on?
Yes, you are now.
Yes, you are.
Okay, no. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Trustee Audie,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, moving on. H, consider approval to appoint as designate for the COVID-19 worksite coordinator Michelle Cole O'Connell and COVID-19 policy and mask wearing provisions to remain until July 1st, 2021, as in current policy approved by the Board of Trustees.
Support.
So moved and support.
There you go.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
trustee Rush,
Yes.
trustee Audie,
Yes.
trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst, and Treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carried, sir.
Mr. Supervisor?
Go
Yeah,
ahead, Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
I just didn't know if you wanted to take up those two quick items that we talked about during the meeting shutdown. The one with the resolution and the one with the COAM increase, or do you want to do it at the next meeting?
What do you guys think about that? We
Can
do
it
that
wait?
next-
I think that we could take care of the COAM because we all talked about that. We all agreed on it in closed session, and I don't think there's really any reason to beat around the bush with that. I'd be happy to make the motion for the 2% increase and differential for rankings.
Support.
Trustee Morgan.
Give me 1 second for clarification. I'm sorry, just
Okay.
that we
Sure.
do this. 41, 42. So what it would be is there is a differential right now between sergeant and corporal of 8%. It would go to 10%. That's the only differential. Nothing else changes in the
It was a
contract.
2% increase.
Yeah, of between that. It's not a 2% for everybody. It's just a stepped up there. There are some increases because of that, but if you did a 2% for everybody, it would be 4 and it'd be, you know.
Right, it escalate.
So it's only 2% between sergeant and corporal. So sergeant and corporal differential would go to 10%. Everything else in the contract would remain the same. All of the officers are getting effectively a 2% raise.
So it's 2% from corporal to sergeant.
Correct. Yes.
All right, so I'll retract my motion earlier and I'll say I'll make the motion that the 2% increase from corporal to sergeant only.
Or
Increase, that is.
Roll call vote. Trustee Addie.
Yes.
Trustee Rush.
Yes.
Trustee Morgan.
Yes.
Trustee Laporte.
Yes.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark excused. Supervisor Bowman.
yes.
Motion carried, sir.
Chair, Trustee Addie.
Just for clarification, then the minutes would reflect there's a 2% increase in the differential between corporal and sergeant. I just want to make
Yes.
crystal clear, because otherwise we get into issues. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Do you want to deal with the resolution or let that go?
Chair, Trustee Addie, I'd like to ask Rob if there's a time issue here that we have to deal with. I know that Belleville had turned theirs in a few weeks ago, and I'm not sure if there's a time issue for Van Buren and Sumter to get the resolution in. I know this is part of the redistricting, and I'm not sure if there's a time issue here.
I'm not sure myself. I know
Like,
that.
I guess,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'll ask for the floor. Chair, may I have the floor?
Go ahead, Don.
Is everyone aware and understand what the redistricting is all about? I mean, do we have to have more discussion on that? I don't know how the rest of the board is up to speed on what's the ideology behind it. So, I mean, if everyone's comfortable with it and doesn't have any questions, I wouldn't understand why we couldn't vote on it. But if there's questions out there about it or things that need to get explained, then obviously we should probably take a little bit more time and talk about it, especially with the public in front of us tonight. That's my thoughts. Back to you, Chair.
Chair, Trustee Addie.
Go ahead, Matt.
My understanding, and Rob, if you could, follow up on this as part of the resolution, this was part of what the people of the state voted in regarding the gerrymandering, and that this resolution puts Belleville, Van Buren, and Sumter into the same district so that, we are a tri-community. Everything that happens in Van Buren has some kind of effect on Sumter as it flows through in Belleville, and that this would secure that we would have the same representation where we wouldn't have Christy Pagan representing Canton and, Joe Bellino representing Sumter, different representatives, that we would be in one district instead of being split.
Mr. Supervisor?
Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, right. So what happens here is the commission was created to eliminate gerrymandering and having whoever's in the majority in the House and the Senate set the set the state representative and Senate seats in a manner that favors the party that's in control. They wanted to have more of a unified, fair way of looking at it. And in that process, we don't know how it's going to fall. In the past, we've been in a district where our state rep represented Sumter, and Huron Township and Brownstown, and in other cases, they went to the west. If you remember, we shared, can't think of his name right now, but who had Ypsilanti. In fact, we had the female representative for a period of time, Deb Wyman, I think her name was. And now we have a state rep from Monroe. Again, not disparaging these people, but Sumter seems to bounce around in these districts and we're not consistent. And what Belleville and Van Buren are talking about is looking at the three communities and saying, look, we're very similar in nature. We have a lot of similar interests. We would like to have one state rep that includes that these 3 communities are that his or her district takes these 3 communities in their district and 1 senator, which is a larger one, probably not as hard to deal with, so that we can speak in one voice, speak collectively, and work together. So that's all we're saying. We don't have the right to determine anything. It's just to say, hey, if you got an opportunity, we'd like to stick together because we have a common interest. And I did look up, this commission starts on May the 30th. So I think that's why they would like to have the resolutions in. And I'll be so bold as just to read the last sentence here. It says that Sumter Township, be it resolved that Sumter Township requests that the MICRC, which is this commission, keep Sumter Township, Belleville, and Van Buren Township in one district because said communities coexist, share common interests, development, and services, and would benefit from representation of common Michigan elected officials in addressing the concerns of the locality. That's all it's designed for.
Chair?
Rob, are we any disadvantage not being a charter township when it comes to coming together like that?
Not, Mr. Chairman, not for this particular issue. I don't think that makes a difference. I can tell you that historically we've talked about whether Sumter should be a charter township or not. There's two alternatives. One's a citizen approved referendum, and the other one is a township approved by resolution. And each of them have different consequences. There's a little bit different organizational structure. The general law township, Mr. Chairman, is the last bastion of democracy in this country. I mean, the majority basically rules. There's no body that really has the right to direct the direction or take on the direction of the township. It's 4 votes on the board or more is what controls. A charter township gives a little more authority, at least the day-to-day operations, to the supervisor's office. They still respect the treasurer and the clerk's duties, statutory duties and the likes. Those don't change very much. There might be a couple additional matters. But what they try to do is just sort of bring this into a more current time period. The state constitution that created the common law township, general law township, I should say, was 1963. So yeah. Just been at it for a long time. So if you'd like to, I can get you some of that stuff. You've asked me about it before. I can get you some of that stuff, Mr. Chairman. You can take a look at it.
I would appreciate that, Rob.
Yep, no problem.
Chair?
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Tim, we've talked about this in the past, and Sumter Township moving, being a charter township, we're taking away the power of the people to control their destiny. I would always be against that. It allows the township board to levy taxes without the people's input. I forget how many mills it is. It's not that significant, but still, to me, it's taxation without representation. And I would never support being a charter township. I'm just, it's just not good for the people.
Supervisor, can I speak?
I believe it was Donnie who got in there first.
I'm sorry.
Well, I want to get back over to the resolution that we were talking about. What is the number of this resolution? Rob?
I don't know. It gets assigned by the clerk's office once it's adopted. So if it doesn't get adopted, there's
so
no...
tonight we wouldn't have a resolution number to even approve tonight if we wanted to.
Well, we passed.
We could approve it by as it's written or read. But.
Whatever the next number is for the year, just is sequential, so that's where it would fall. I don't know, Tony. Do you know what the next number is?
It'd be a guess. I believe it's 2021-09, but it would be easy to take it to handle in the morning after approval.
Okay, back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Don. Peggy?
Yeah, I just want to say, getting back to second to the charter, Sumter Township has forever disagreed with going with charter. And our residents never like the idea of us being a charter township. And I have to agree with Tim Rush on that. I would never want us to become charter. So just I just wanted to throw that in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. We talk about coming together as a tri-community, and then, I don't know. I'll wait for Rob to give me the information on it, and I'll on it, but
Chair, Trustee Addy,
go ahead, Matt.
I'd like to move forward and make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay,
I'll support it.
support.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing for the three communities to bond together as one. We do have likeness. We're all in the same county.
Right.
I think it's got more benefits than it does than anything. So I definitely support it.
Chair?
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, and you know what, just an interesting observation. If you look at the election results for Sumter, Belleville, and Van Buren Township, they were across the board very similar. And I think, having a standard representative for our state government, I think would be beneficial. We're a tri-community. Back to Chair.
Thank you, Tim.
Roll call vote, Trustee Addy,
Yes.
Trustee Rush,
Yes.
Trustee Laporte,
Yes.
Trustee Morgan,
Yes.
Clerk Hurst and Treasurer Clark are excused. Supervisor Bowman.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Motion carried.
Okay.
Chair.
Announcement.
Chairman,
Go ahead, Dan.
Mr. Deputy Clerk, could you please pull a number for that resolution in the morning and email that out to all the board members, please?
I absolutely will do that, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so announcements.
If you could hold one moment, I had one speaker. Sharon? Sharon? All right. Sharon, are you with us? Well, we certainly wouldn't have a normal board meeting without this. So we went through it today. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's resolved. Give one more try. Sharon, are you with us? Okay.
Hey, open floor.
I have no other requests.
Adjournment.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Or move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Supervisor, motion carried, meeting adjourned.
Good night,
Board,
everyone.
thank you and be safe out there.
You guys have a great night.